funny story, actually.
Let's hear that story.
I got fired.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you get fired? What'd you do? Sleeping on the job?
No, it really came down to a...
You pay those? Never mind. We'll cut.
Let's cut that part.
They didn't pull the trigger.
Nope, didn't pull the trigger. Cops weren't called, nothing like that.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Mind Your Own Business podcast. I'm Jerry Parisi, and today I've got a special guest with me. I know everybody's special, but Dustin Davis, extra special because we've had a relationship for a while. That's right. Your company's done some work on our office building, did the roof, the gutters. Turned out amazing, by the way, so thank you very much for that. Great team over there at Denali Roofing and Restorations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Denali, what you guys offer, what services you guys provide.
So we are a residential commercial roofing company, and we offer multiple different trades as well. So not just roofing, we do siding, gutters, painting, interior remodeling. We're still working on the process of getting our actual general contractor's license to where we can add square footages and finishing of basements and things along those lines. But yeah, so that's the services that we offer. It is for residential as well as commercial. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. I didn't realize you guys did interiors as well. So that's pretty cool to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. How long have you been in business?
It will be 5 years in July of this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What made you start your own roofing company? Where were you at in your life 5 years ago?
It's a funny story, actually.
Let's hear that story.
I got fired.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you get fired? What'd you do? Sleeping on the job?
No, it really came down to a miscommunication with my previous employer, and I was working for a different roofing company at the time. And they're actually the ones that got me into the roofing industry. And yeah, it just came down to, I guess, unclarity behind processes more than anything.
And the expectations they had?
Correct. Yeah, it was the expectations that they had that weren't communicated.
Gotcha.
So that's really what it came down to. So there's just a disagreement over a miscommunication. And I say I was fired, but it was mutual at that time. So,
gotcha. So you had learned, you got some experience with that company and you took that, started your own. Were you hesitant to start your own business?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It was really kind of unexpected. It just kind of happened, I guess. I had given it some thought. And at the time that I started the business, I thought that I knew everything that I needed to know. And I was wrong.
There's a lot more to it.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than just putting nails and shingles.
Yeah. A lot more to it than just sales and the execution of the project. So much more to it that I had no idea. But basically, the reason that it happened was after me and the previous company split ways, my phone just kept ringing from the relationships that I'd built, from networking, from previous clients, from referrals, things along those lines. And I felt like I was just leaving the opportunity on the table not to take care of those people. And so I thought, hey, I can do this. Why not give it a shot? Didn't think it was going to take me as far as it has, but here we are, almost 5 years later.
What did you expect? Where did you expect it to take you when you started?
I had no idea what to expect, honestly. It's been very much a learning process as I've gone through year after year, just learning bit by bit about the industry, about, so many different things from the behind the scenes of actually how to operate a business, what the key things are to look at, how to lead people, how to coach people is a big one. Yeah, I didn't really know where it was going to take me, but I knew that it was a great opportunity if I could figure it out. And so I felt like it was worth me taking a risk, taking a shot for it, and failing if that was the outcome, versus not ever trying, not knowing what could have came of it.
Wondering what if.
Exactly.
So you mentioned some of the key numbers and the key metrics. What are the key metrics in your industry that the business owner needs to be aware of, make sure are right?
There are so many different things to look at. I mean, are we looking at marketing analytics? Are we looking at KPI performances with sales guys? Are we looking at conversion rates? Are we looking at lead to close timeline? Like, there's so many different things to actually look at. Return on investment, where your time spent. There's so many different things to consider. And those were the things that I didn't know coming in.
So you're pretty much dialed in, and you know now at this point in your career what you're looking at, what numbers move the needle, and what you need to focus on as far as the business owner, right?
I'd like to think so, but I also don't want to think that I know everything there is to know about it either. I'd love to keep learning more and continue getting better. But I'm in a spot now to where I realize the important things that I need to continuously keep an eye on, for sure.
Yeah. But I think that's key, is to know what you need to be looking at from a day-to-day perspective as far as those numbers,
right?
When you're running a business. So that's awesome. When you got started, did you have to use any financing to get your company off the ground, or did you bootstrap it?
I did not have to use any financing. I got lucky, honestly. One of the phone calls that I got was from a client who owned a commercial building, and he wanted me to come out and do their roof. So I was able to do that, thankfully, and then use the funds from that one project to really get the company off the ground.
Nice.
And going.
Do you prefer commercial or residential?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Honestly.
Okay, well, let me rephrase it. What's the difference between those two as far as the business goes?
Residential projects are going to be quicker turnaround, to where, we can sit down and have a meeting with a client today. They could make a decision as soon as today, and we're doing the roof as soon as next week. So it's much quicker turnaround time if they choose to go that fast. Commercial projects are much longer from start to finish as far as that goes. And they're much more complex, and the attention to detail, not that we don't have attention to detail on the residential projects, but the attention to detail on a flat roof versus a shingle roof, you could have just the smallest seam that is not sealed properly on a commercial roof, and it caused the entire roof to leak. So the attention to detail is definitely key on commercial roofing.
And is that just the nature of a flat roof versus a roof with a pitch?
Correct. Yeah. So pitched roofs, they're going to have more directive water flow. Water is not just sitting on top of them, so it's getting off quicker. As water is just sitting on a flatter surface, it's going to find somewhere to go. Mm-hmm. And if there are any weaknesses in that system whatsoever, it's going to fail. It's going to find it. I think if I had to answer the question, I would say I would prefer residential over commercial, because you get to build more of a relationship with a client. You get to get to know somebody firsthand. You're doing a service for them specifically, not just for a company or for, a building owner. So you're able to build that relationship, and in turn, most of the time you get referrals out of that.
Okay. Are referrals a big part of your business?
Referrals are probably, I'd have to sit down and look at the numbers based off what we did last year. I think we did somewhere between 60 and 70% referrals for our total revenue of all of last year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Referrals are a little bit cheaper than spending money on ads, and
much cheaper.
Also, they're warm clients, right? They come to you. They've already been sold by the person referring them.
So fun stat for you. I don't know if this matters at all, but a client who is referred by another client is 4 times more likely to buy from you. And they're also 4 times more likely to refer you other people.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Besides referrals, where are you getting business? What does your marketing look like?
Networking groups. We also do some Google ads, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that.
From your Google, I've had bad results in the past running my own Google ads, but have you seen success with it? What's your ROI on those?
Honestly, it's something new to us. We were just doing strictly organic. We were doing SEO, and we started doing Google ads like PPC and
LSAs, lead service ads.
I forget. I don't know. That's not my language, honestly. It's like talking taxes. I have no idea what we're talking about.
You pay those? Never mind. We'll cut
let's cut that part. Yes, I do. Unwillingly, but yeah. We've gotten some hits on it. I guess that would be the word. We've gotten some conversion from it. I want to say the last time I checked, so we started October of last year, September, October of last year. And I want to say we have like $116,000 in our pipeline for estimates that we've sent out from people who have reached out from that. But the conversion rate as far as ROI on that has not been there yet. So I don't know if our target audience is getting in front of people who are just shopping right now, which is actually a conversation that I need to have with my marketing agency regarding all of that. Dialing in on getting in front of the right client is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
So
what is something that you wish the right client knew? Say if they have a roof claim, they're trying to go through insurance, there was a storm. A lot of people are, hung out to dry, for lack of a better term, by their insurance company. What do you wish those people knew before calling you?
Well, I wish they knew the corruption of what the insurance industry actually is, depending on who their carrier is. And I don't want to list carriers here, but policy language is everything. When it comes down to your insurance coverages, your policy language is absolutely everything as far as what's going to get covered and what's not going to get covered if you do have any damages on your home. And documentation. Make sure that you have everything completely documented. If you are considering filing a claim at any point, insurance has gotten much more difficult to take the process of. Yet I wish it were a science, to where it was, these are the hard facts. This is the situation. This is what the policy says. So we're going to go ahead and push it through. But it's not. It's more of a, jumping through hoops and knowing how to jump through those hoops and having the evidence, lack of a better word, to support your claim if you file one. So
it's not easy to make an insurance claim on a roof, it sounds like. And it seems like
it's easy to make a claim.
It's easy to make the claim.
It's easy to make a claim. To the average consumer, though, filing a claim on your own, there's a lot of carriers who will just deny a claim to see if you're going to push back at all. If you do push back, you need to have your documentation prepared and ready to go at that point. But a lot of people trust their insurance carrier over any other inspector that might come out, whether it's us or a different roofing company or a home inspector or whatever it is. They'll just trust the outcome of what the insurance says and think that they don't have any damages. And that's not necessarily the case.
So what can you and Denali do to help those people?
Educate them. Yeah, tell them what the different options are as far as the path that they can take, what the hard facts are in front of them, and help them to make more of an educated decision on what's going to be the best course of action to take, whether that be go through an insurance claim process with really no guarantee that that's going to get approved, or looking at just paying for whatever the damages might be, retail or through financing, or whatever options are going to be best suited for them.
God. Circling back to when you started your business, were you on the roofs doing the jobs?
Oh, on the roofs, yes. Jobs, some smaller jobs, repairs, things like that. But as far as a full replacement, no. My time's better spent in other areas of the business.
Gotcha. And these days, I know that you're mostly in the office or networking,
right,
building the business.
Right.
When did you make the decision, and how did you make that decision to come off the roof and be more of the business
I still go on roofs today. I still get on roofs to do inspections and things like that. Okay. But it's more so for training purposes now.
Right.
For me to get more hands-on with my team, with guys that I'm newly onboarded, or they run into a situation that they haven't seen before, or if just requested by the client. But I really made that transition, I guess, about 2 years into the business. Okay. My first year in business, well, maybe 3, maybe 2.5, 3, 2 to 3 years. I don't remember exactly. My first year in the business, it was just me. So I was doing everything. Mm-hmm. towards the end of that first year, I onboarded my first sales guy. So it was him helping me with lead generation by door knocking at that point, and flyers and door hangers and business cards and stuff like that going out, and helping me do the project management aspect of everything, but still everything else on the back end I was doing. I hired an office manager. Yeah, I guess it was about 2 years into business. But I hired him to try to help alleviate some of the back end stuff because I was still at that point out kind of pushing, trying to generate business.
And when you hired the office manager, did you feel that take some of the administrative burden off you? And were you able to focus? Was that a good business decision?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. As a business owner, looking back, I would absolutely hire an office manager 10 times out of 10, but especially I would have done it sooner had I known the benefit of it, because it allowed me a lot more free time to be out. Now, there are things at this point that he doesn't take care of and that I was still taking care of at that point as well. But it just freed up so much of my time. Yeah, looking back, I would have done that much sooner, even if it's just a fractional office manager, if it's not a full-time person. That's a very smart thing to do when first coming into business, to allow you to be the face of the company, allow you to be out generating revenue, really whatever's going to fit into your strengths best.
Nice. And I know that you've got a great team now. You've got Alex is your marketing guy.
Yep.
You've got Dustin, who does some of the operations.
Yep.
And Cody is in the office.
Correct.
Am I missing anybody?
No, so it's just the four of us right now.
That's awesome.
But it was kind of intentional. This past year, there was a lot of change that happened. And so I slowed down this past year, basically. There was a law that was implemented in 24 that caused me to have to completely change the structure of my business. All of my employees were operating as independent contractors. Even though they're still getting paid, they were operating as independent contractors. I had to switch everybody over to W-2. So that was a learning process for me in itself. Made that switch first part of this year. And then there was a guy who had been working with me for about 3 years that he decided to leave to go work with his family business, which completely fine. I understand that. We have no bad blood or anything. I'm actually happy for him that he's able to do, what his heart's calling him to do. But it really slowed down this year to try to make sure that we were really keying in on our processes to eliminate confusion, because I realized that there was some overlap of roles and responsibility. And by not having clear processes in place, it caused what happened with me at my previous job. So it's very important to make sure that you have that in place so everybody knows what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, how they're supposed to do it. So there's an accountability factor. And it definitely helps with efficiency from just start to finish.
Well, it's great that you learned that lesson in that previous experience that you had, and we're able to bring that on with your team now.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe offline you and I can talk and you can tell me, because I got some people that don't know that they're supposed to be working. They should be working. Just kidding, guys. But what are some other challenges that you face in your time running Denali?
I learned that you better have your contracts buttoned up.
Yeah.
Thanks to you for that one. Well, not because of you, but thank you for helping me with that one.
I was going to say, I didn't screw up any of the contracts.
He helped me with my contracts. Now, having contracts buttoned up is definitely a big one for protection of the business, yourself, and the client as a whole.
Yeah, because you're doing some dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So you're on people's roofs.
Absolutely.
An accident could happen.
Yep.
You're doing stuff that is regulated.
Yep.
Right. Some of it. You're also doing some stuff that goes through insurance. So all that, I guess, has to be looked at. You got exposure on different fronts.
Yeah. Yeah. Making sure the contracts are buttoned up.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understand is that roofing is a competitive industry, right?
Very much so, yeah.
And there's a lot of businesses that come in and don't last very long. How do you stand out in this economy as a roofer?
That is the $1 million question, isn't it? I try to stand out by simply just being myself, because if you go in there and you're trying to fake anything, whether it's, you're going to come off as being disingenuous,
Mm-hmm.
So And following through on what you say is probably the biggest one. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. So that's what I've always tried to focus on, and to teach my guys that as well. Just being as transparent as you possibly can has taken me a long way by not trying to sugarcoat anything or fluff anything to a client, and just saying, hey, this is what's in front of us. What's going to be the best decision for you, and whatever option you decide, I can help you take that path. So that's helped me stand out a little bit. I've always said I do not like the used car salesman pitch.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in there and like, oh, you got to do this today. The deal's not going to be there tomorrow. I don't like that. I'll never do that. So I take an approach as to, we're there to help people, to offer services. And if they want to trust us enough to allow us to work on their property, then great. And if not, then that's okay. But yeah, so that's the way that I've taken, the approach that I've taken.
Well, and I'll give you a testimonial, because a few months ago, our roof was leaking. And I had never met you before, but we had a mutual friend. You came in and assessed the roof leak, gave us our options, not just one option, but multiple, gave us a quote. And then you did exactly what you said you were going to do, right? You changed the nails on the metal roof, the screws, the backing behind the metal roof, with the
Drip
2x4s. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the framing.
Yeah. The framing.
Yep.
Everything you said you were going to do, you did. And I was super happy with the way it turned out. The gutters look awesome. Like, everything looks great. And the roof hasn't leaked yet.
I think it turned out great, especially the fascia and the soffit work.
Yeah.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And that's good that it hasn't leaked. That means I don't have to come and fix any of your sheetrock or anything like that.
Yeah, but like you said, everything that you said you were going to do, you did.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. So,
Of course.
What advice would you give somebody who's young, thinking about getting into the roofing industry or starting their own roofing company, before they make that leap? What would you tell them?
Document everything that you can. Try to take the things that you have in your head and put them on paper, so that other people that you do bring in along the way have a reference, a source to go to have whatever questions that they might have answered. And just take your time. Don't just jump in head first. Ask questions. Get a mentor is a big one. Getting a mentor or a business coach. That's definitely helped me.
Do you have a business coach?
I was working with a business coach, but I'm not at the moment.
Okay.
I feel like the coach that I was working with kind of taught me the things that I needed to know based off of their perspective of business. They were more coaching for building your valuation of your business, not necessarily. They weren't industry specific. So I would love to have somebody that's an industry specific coach, but it's not easy to find those people.
Gotcha.
So,
what are your goals for 2026 and into 2027 for Denali?
we've been working on getting our general contractor's license. I would love to have that finalized within this year, before 2027. And I would love to hit our sales goal that we've set for ourselves for this year, and potentially hire a couple of other people. Those would be my 3 main goals for this year. I'm looking at maybe one administrative person and one to 2 other sales guys.
Gotcha. And from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've rolled out a new offering recently, or is that still coming?
Nope, that's live.
Is it the residential roof maintenance program?
Correct.
Do I have that right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
So one of the biggest things that we've run into as a company over the years is roofing is a very out of sight, out of mind thing. It's not an issue until it's an issue, right? And it's also not a sexy thing to buy, right? So somebody doesn't want to go out and drop 20 grand on the roof when they can go out and drop 20 grand on a boat, So, and a lot of the time when people have issues, if it's not going to be approved through insurance, they don't have just 20 grand sitting in the bank to replace their roof if they need to. So what we've done is we've come up with a maintenance program that will allow us to fix the issues with the roof that need to be fixed at the time. and really help to try to extend the life of the roof as a whole. And we can do it from the day after we replace a roof all the way until the roof is not lasting anymore. There's no more repairs we can do or fixes that we can do for the roof. But just to give people the option of having something done at an affordable cost that's ongoing, so they're not just constantly surprised by any issues that might come up with a roof and then having to fork out, call it $2,500 for a repair, which is a pretty standard cost for any type of repairs that might need to be done. Instead of that, there's just an annual subscription. We go out there once or twice a year, whatever they elect for us to do, and we reseal any of the failing sealants or caulking that might need to be done, any nail pops that are on the roof, shingles that might be failing. Just fix it and help it to extend as much as we can until it gets to a point, and then we let them know that, hey, this is kind of it. We can't keep doing this anymore. So.
And at that point, that's because the roof is so old that you can't really polish it up anymore.
Exactly. So that would be primarily for like shingle roofing, metal panel roofing. You can get 50 years out of that stuff. So, but shingle roofing, after, depending on what your exposure is to different weather events, things like that, anywhere from, I'd say as little as 10 years, you might get 30 years out of a shingle if you're lucky. But anywhere in between that, depending on the quality of the material that you're looking at and how it was installed.
But that's good as far as a business strategy because you get that recurring revenue when they sign that contract.
Well, the recurring revenue part of it, you're right. Yes, that was the idea behind it. Yes. But it's structured in a way that we're really not making a large margin on that at all. The idea behind it was to build trust with a client. We want to be able to build trust by offering them something that's going to help them. There's a small margin in it, but it's 50% less than what we would normally make on any type of a roof as far as percentage of profit goes on that. And that's just enough to cover my taxes more than anything. So not really going to make a whole lot of money as far as the maintenance program in itself goes. And there's so many incentives that are a part of the maintenance program. It gives us an opportunity to be in front of somebody consistently and to be the first person that they think of whenever they do have any issues.
Okay, so I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're building that trust. You're doing good work for them at a reasonable price because you're not making a killing off those contracts. Awesome. Yeah. And then you'll be top of mind whenever they do need the roof replaced.
Exactly.
Well, you'll be top of roof. You'll be there.
Top of roof, exactly. And then hopefully they'll refer us to some other clients. And again, back to the additional services that we do that a lot of people don't know that we do. While we're there, we can mention other things that we're seeing. And there is an incentive in as far as being a member of the program to receive discounts off additional services and things like that as well.
Gotcha. So what is the big discount? Like if I was a member of that program and my roof ultimately failed or I needed a new one, what is the discount on that?
Well, it depends on what direction you're going with it. There's three different percentage discounts that are tied into that. There's a 50% program spend discount off a roof replacement. So say you're a client with us for, 5 years, right? And you spend $500 a year on the program, just hypothetically. So you're at $2,500 invested. When it comes time to replace your roof, of that $2,500 that you spent on the program, 50% of that will be applied as a discount towards the roof replacement. So that's the first one. And then the second one is a 10% discount on additional services. So if somebody is a member of that program and they want to replace their siding on their entire home, they would get a discount on that additional service that we offer. So there's multiple benefits as pertaining to membership. That's what I was looking for.
What sort of licensing do you need to become a roofer?
That's funny you asked that. In the state of Georgia, you're not required to have a license to be a roofer whatsoever.
So is that why there are a lot of, I'll call them fly-by-night companies that come in after a storm hits?
Yep.
And then they're...
Absolutely. So be careful with who you choose to trust. Do your research as a homeowner. So we are a part of a voluntary license program. We are also an accredited business through the BBB. And we have our certifications and a few different manufacturers that we use primarily. So Georgia is kind of trending towards becoming a licensed state to try to flush out a lot of the contractors that are untrustworthy, honestly. But yeah, that's how I was able to start my business, is that I did not have to have a license. So I knew connections within the industry. I knew multiple different subcontractors, and I had distribution pretty much nailed down. And I knew the systems that I was going to be installing. I was able to get my certification for the manufacturers very quickly. But yeah, so there's zero licensing that's actually required right now for the state.
Wow. What is the craziest story that you've had as far as being on somebody's roof?
I got a gun pulled on me once.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was interesting.
Did you Jackie Chan him and pull it right?
No. I said, whoa, brother, what are you doing? So I had a landlord contact me, and it was his property that he owned, but he had renters living there. He notified, there's 2 renters that lived there. He notified one of the renters, assuming that they were going to notify the other renter. Well, both of these renters worked night shift and were not awake when we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I got on their roof, and the guy walks out with a gun, and he was like, "Who are you? I need to see some ID." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, hold on a second. Like, let me get it." He was like, "Why are you on my roof?" I was like, "Well, I'm not stealing your shingles, buddy. I promise you that."
Like, joke's on you, I'm Santa Claus.
It's like middle of July, but I guess I woke him up by accident, and he didn't know I was going to be there. And yeah, it's probably the craziest story.
Okay.
But
they didn't pull the trigger or anything?
Nope, didn't pull the trigger. Cops weren't called, nothing like that.
Is there any message you want to tell the community that may be watching about either your industry or business in general?
Just do your research. I forget the exact statistic, but something like, I want to say more than 50% of the complaints that are listed on the Better Business Bureau are tied back to a contractor. So just make sure that you're checking references, that you're checking Google reviews, that if licenses are required, that they have them, things along those lines. Previous projects that have been completed, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So just look out for yourself and make sure, if you don't already know the right questions to ask, Google the right questions to ask for a contractor.
Find a company that's professional, that has a proven track record. Okay. Or just call Denali.
Or just call us.
And how can people find Denali?
We are located in Commerce, Georgia. They can call our office at 706-480-3767. Or our website is www.denalirnw.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And we just started our YouTube channel.
You can put this video on YouTube.
I'm doing that.
Nice. And that's the end of our episode. This has been the Mind Your Own Business podcast. Best episode yet, I think. I'm attorney Jerry Parisi. This handsome guy is Dustin Davis. Call him if you need a roof. Call me if you need a contract. And we'll see you next time.